We should be live now, brother.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Good morning to Bezerra Spiritual Healing Center, House of the Way for our online Sunday event. And I'm your event introducer, host. Do want to let you know that we respect all religions and spiritual traditions. And as always, we open with an opening prayer to set the energy. And Teresa, can you do that for us today?
Yes, I will. Thank you. Okay, so let us all relax ourselves into wherever we find the body, seated, lying down, wherever we are. Close your eyes if you safely can do so, taking some deep breaths, connecting with the body, connecting with the earth. Mother, Father, God, divine creator, first cause of all things. We say a big hello and thank you for the opportunity of the sacred life we've been given. We bring ourselves to this study with open minds, open hearts, that we may be inspired, awakened to new ideas, better ways of navigating life. And we welcome all the spirits who have joined as well today, those who have come to learn besides us, those who have come to guide us, and even those who maybe don't like us so well. And we ask in particular for blessings and guidance for our sister Regina in presenting her talk, that she may be receptive and listening to the good spirits in their direction. And we also pray for those who may be in greater need than ourselves. We pray that they too may receive that helping hand soon. And we pray for our brothers and sisters who cannot make it today, that they may feel the warmth and the connection to the center. And with humility and a blessing, we begin today's study and service. So be it.
And so it is. No bio, Brian.
Okay. All right, darling. Um, I will do what we normally do though. So Bezerra Spiritual Healing Center is member of the United States Spiritist Federation. Beliefs are around scientific, philosophical, and religious principles of Spiritism. The Spirit Emmanuel taught that knowledge and love are the wings for our spiritual evolution. We have two parts to our presentation. The speaking part, which our lovely sister Regina will start shortly. Participation is important, and as the presentation is occurring, your mentor is supporting with insights from the speaker, reflection, and working along the week to sustain the energy you're receiving while in the center is important for your growth, as well as, interestingly, the growth of people all around you, because the healing energy that is occurring here today is like a rock in the water that has a ripple and it reaches far and wide. And the second part, please stay because the presentation is the setup for the second part, which is the hands-on healing. And that's for you and whoever else, a family member, Ashley, that perhaps you want to bring, have a picture on hand of them, or just thinking about them and while being in prayer. So during this time, we also will share events, and I'm going to go ahead and share that. And see if I can get that Trying to, probably showing the wrong one that I want. Hold on, just bear with me here. Oops.
Mhm.
Oh, it's always fun doing this. Okay, I gotta stop sharing, go back, click on that screen. And I think that does it. So now I can go back and share with you. All right. You should see the activities for the week, Monday through Sunday for BSH. This is what I got off our Google site, so hopefully it's still current. I've been stepping away, as some of you heard, that I do have a mother. Have you
It is
seen it?
not, brother.
Okay.
Yes. I
Can
think
you?
that we, yeah, I can, if you allow
Okay.
me, I can just,
Yeah, please. And I'll remove this.
yeah, I should have done that already. Oops. There we go. You want me to go over it?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so on Sunday, so these are all the opportunities that we have for us to be together. On Sunday, obviously, we have the service from 10 to 11:30-ish, all Pacific time. We have the two parts. The first one is educational presentation. We always have someone speaking to us. And the second part, we have hands-on healing classes, as Brian was saying. So please make sure that you stay to the second part with your bottle of water. We have daily prayers, so 6 p.m. for 15-20 minutes each. We all get together for us to not only to receive positive thoughts, but also to emanate positive thoughts. So everybody's welcome to join us as we pray also for those who are in treatment. We also offer fraternal counseling. This is by appointment only, and you will be assigned to someone to a meeting to be talking to you. Usually it's Wednesday from 4 to 7, but if you need any other time, do let us know. We'll make sure that someone is ready to talk to you, to pray with you, to be with you. We are here for you and with you. We also have book study groups. All the studies begin at 6:30, and usually it takes approximately 1 hour. And on Sundays, we just started Missionaries of the Light. It's a book by André Luiz via Chico Xavier. It's an amazing book. On Tuesdays, we started recently The Consoler. This one is written by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier, and this study is done in collaboration with the Divine Light Spiritist group led by Sunshine. Everybody's welcome to join us, and it's in the same link. On Wednesdays, we are working on Heaven and Hell by Allan Kardec. And on Thursdays, we are reading the book Living Spring by Emmanuel via Chico Xavier. All those books, you are more than welcome to join us anytime, even if you didn't you were not since the beginning. I'm sure everybody can catch up, and we'll be happy to support you with anything. We also have mediumship services, and this one is on Monday. The first part, we always have an education for mediumship principles. And this one is closed, but if you are interested in learning a little bit more, we're happy to have you in the first hour. And then in the second hour, this one is closed only for workers, only for those who are mediums that are working at ESH. And in
Excuse me, Kiki, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, go ahead.
I don't think that session is open at all to the public. I think that whole
Okay, not the education as well.
Right, I think so.
Okay.
Maybe Tanya can confirm that.
You're right, it's closed to the public.
Okay, so mediumship is closed, education is closed, and the service is closed as well. So if you are interested, do let us know, and we will help you to understand how to take the road to learn a little bit more about mediumship. On the second part, as I mentioned, we do have a healing service. So if you or anyone who you love is in need of treatment, let us know. We will add this person's name to our book, either for physical treatment or spiritual treatment. We highly encourage the person who is in treatment to stay tuned during this process, so then they can receive the energy that will be focused on them. Read the gospel, meditate, pray, and the service. This treatment usually takes 4 weeks. But if anything changes, we will be in touch with the person. And that's it. Back to you, Brian.
So much. And we are an example that it takes a village, it takes a community to work together to do this. And I'm so grateful, Kiki, that you stepped in and provided that. Thank you, sister. And thank you for the addition, Teresa, too, as well, to keep us all on the same page. Again, it takes a community, it takes a village. And that's what's so welcoming, to have a fraternity of people that we can all work together and learn together. And speaking of learning, we're going to have a presentation by Regina Waters on the law of worship, purpose, and external worship. I do want to remind everyone to, I'm seeing a note from Tanya. The mediumship education is after the introduction of spiritism education, as we are planning to start a new course soon. That is in, and if anybody wants to get more information as we're going through today, you can just communicate in the chat with Tanya. So I do want to remind everybody to keep their audio muted while Regina is presenting. You can unmute yourself if you have a question that you want to ask during the presentation, but kindly, when you're not speaking, please have it muted so that there is no background noise. Plus, please, if you can, have a glass of water by your side. Your mentor will be magnetizing it. We are in a belief, and through what our studies, we do know that that water is magnetized, and it does provide a specific type of magnetism that is specific to you that the mentors are providing for you. So with that said, Regina did not want me to read the bio, but I will let you know that Regina is a breath of fresh air. She is our wings. As you can see, there are wings behind her, and they are representative of her. She is there for us through thick and thin. Not only is she a friend, a spiritual guider, a counselor, a medium, but genuinely a loving human being. Regina, the floor is yours.
Gosh, I don't know what to do with all that, Brian. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait. That didn't happen, did it? Wait. Have to stop and go back. It was ready, then it wasn't ready. Let's go here. Okay. All right. Can you guys see it? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So this is the Spirit's book, of course, The Laws of Worship. You know, this is a very interesting book. I'm not trying to sell the book, but I think it's interesting that how God had provided so much information with good spirits to give us this knowledge for our growth as we move forward. So what I'm talking about today will be the law of worship and the purpose of worship, the outward worship forms, and contemplative life. There's more, but someone else will be doing that part. So, what does worship entail? I think we all have an idea of what worship is to us. But let's see what the spirits have to say, along with some of my own stuff. So, what do you think it means to you? Worshiping entails saying a special prayer, reading the gospel, singing a glorified song from your heart, meditating in gratitude, being thankful for another day. It could be you playing an instrumental song from your heart that connects you to God. But all these help one get closer. When it comes to worshiping God, one of the most important things to do is to have your mind on God, then lift your thoughts as they come from your heart to the divine creator. You want to connect your beautiful and loving thoughts from your heart to God. And through worship, the soul draws nearer to its creator. And the beauty about this is you can do this from wherever you are. Now, I asked one of our members to read some things for me.
Okay. Is worship the result of an innate sentiment, or is it the product of education?
Interesting. I see both the innate sentiment and the product of education. The innate sentiment is a reflection of our inner feelings. We feel something that is greater than ourselves. That feeling comes from our inner core, our soul. In addition, we seek and are given knowledge outside of ourselves, representing the education that can also guide us. And we're taught that God is within, so we can meditate and get closer. You know, even in the beginning, when people were worshiping idols and deities, they knew there was something in there. They knew something greater than themselves was there. They just didn't know how to find it. And we have all learned over time to question rituals and our cultural education. And I think this is what brought us to where we are right now, continuously learning on this spiritual journey. And the spirits teach that through our experience and education, we learn. And we have found that to be true. And that sentiment grows from our experiences and our education.
Have there ever been people devoid of all sentiment of worship?
Now, that's an interesting thought, because the first couple of things that come to our mind is an atheist. Well, let's look into it. An atheist and an agnostic person. People who are likely to say that they're an atheist or an agnostic would be an example of a person devoid of these sentiments. So let's take a quick look. An atheist is a person who disbelieves or lacks belief in the experience of God. He is a committed atheist. And then we have an agnostic person. It means a person who believes that nothing is known or can be known of the existence or not nature of God. So this person claims neither faith or belief. However, the spirits say no, because there have never been atheistic people. So people as a whole all have understood that there is a supreme being. This includes those who worship statues because in their minds, they felt there was a power greater than themselves. They just didn't know where to look or how to find it at that time. Does worship have its source in natural law? The natural law is the law of God. Natural law is the law that is truly necessary for human beings to be happy. Now, it takes us to all this suffering that we do or see. How to get out of it? Connecting back to the source, to God. And worship is part of that natural law because it is the result of an innate sentiment in humankind. That is why we find it among all peoples, although it is expressed in different forms. Okay, and then we have outward worship forms. Outward worship forms useful, nonetheless. The spirits say yes. If they are not a vain pretense, you ain't out there pretending that you are greater than you are, know more than you are, or just simply trying to be a god. He said it's useful to set examples. And here are a few outward expressions. Again, we have singing, we have praising, we have reading out loud, and we have praying, etc. There's many ways. But for those who do it for the reasons of pride, do it for the wrong reasons and do more harm than they do good. And we all know there are pretenders out there. Does worship require outward expression? Some may say yes, some may say no. But let's see what the spirits say. True worship comes from the heart in all its actions. True worship comes from the heart in all its actions. Always remember that the Lord is watching you. So no matter what, it's known whether or not you are doing it from your heart or you're a pretender. Does God have any preference for those who worship in this or that manner? God prefers those who worship with a sincere heart. Do good and do your best to avoid evil. We all know right from wrong. We're all God's children. God calls all those who follow the divinely established laws. Whatever may be the form in which they are expressed, and how people express themselves is for God to judge. I hope it's for love. Okay, outward worship. So, true worship comes from the heart. There are those who profess to worship Christ, but are proud, envious, and jealous, who are hard and unforgiving. They just refuse to forgive others. And what do the spirits have to say? Clearly, their worship does not come from their heart. It comes from their lips, which we call what? Lip service. Only. Is it wrong to practice a religion that is not believed in from the bottom of one's heart? Of course, this is a long question, but I only put part of it. As in so many other things, the intent is the rule. Those whose sole aim is to show respect for the belief of others, the spirits say they do no wrong. In fact, they do better than those who would ridicule because they are showing charity. God doesn't approve of putting on a show. God approves of respect and kindness. I did find this interesting, though. Anyway, is group worship preferable to individual worship? Those who assemble for communion of thought and sentiment have more power to attract good spirits. So those who are in a group, that makes sense. And the same applies to those that gather to worship. So every day at 6 p.m., we come together to pray. And of course, everyone is welcome. Coming together to pray with the intent to connect to God is important. It's the key. However, do not think that an individual who worships by themselves is less effective. If you are alone, God knows your heart. God can hear your heart. So never let that bother you. Contemplative life. Now, I found this one very interesting as well. There's many people who just want to pray in silence. They just want to meditate and think of God all day. In living this contemplative life, they remove themselves from social society, city life. They choose not to be social. The goal is to move away from noise and people. So some people live in the woods, in nature, off the grid. Some live in communion together with like-minded people. Some Christians and other religions have vowed to be in silence. Those who live like this have been known as some Catholics, some monks, some hermits, even Hindus. There's more. But that question, contemplated life, is, anyway, let's see what the spirits say. Kathy?
To those who dedicate themselves to the contemplative life, doing nothing wrongful, and thinking only of God, have any merit in the divine sight?
The spirits say no. God doesn't want anyone to have a job of thinking only about Him. Those who spend all their time in meditation and contemplation, they do nothing meritorious, I don't know what that word is said, before God, since their life is entirely personal. And that's the key. Their life is completely personal. That's a choice. I don't want to be around nobody. I don't want to hear your noise. I don't want to interact to see a reflection of how I am. That's because people reflect back when you interact. So even though they do nothing wrong, neither do they do good. And they are considered useless and of no use to humankind by not doing good. You know, after all, we are here to help one another and to help each other grow. Okay, so here's one of my favorite pieces of information taken out of chapter 19. And although this is only part of it, it's actually taken from this part that has to deal with faith. But I just love that saying, love God, but know why you do. Believe in God and know why you do. And know that what promises of God, believe in that and know why you believe in it. I just love that. It's just, anyway. And in closing, I have the eternal longing of the human soul and that which is seeking in 1,000 forms is love. And I believe our strongest push and motivation in our hearts is to want to rid ourselves of loneliness, a feeling that of belonging somewhere. We want to reach that, this great love, or I want to, be with people that are like-minded and of love. So, even though we have to grow to get there, there's this push to find it. And to feed this strong eternal desire for love, we have to work on this journey to finding our way home. And this is part of the process. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Thank you for listening. I'm happy it's over. And I shall stop sharing.
Thank you, Regina. Well, as you were going from slide to slide, I was taking notes, and just thinking more in depth of what you were covering. And it's interesting, for this whole week, a lot of places where I've gone and I've met with people, the conversation was focused on meditation and prayer. And it's just interesting that your presentation, does lead me to once again think about prayer and meditation and the connection with God through the worshiping of God and what is God and what where is God and um, yeah, the innate sentiment when I started remembering this world in my youth, knowing, beginning to know who I am, knowing the people around me, and everything, starting to take it all in and have this memory and be able to put it all together in my head and consider it. I did have ever since as a little kid, I had this feeling inside of me that God was inside of me and God was in everything. Um, but along the way, I had received different educations, like the church's education, a Catholic school education. Um, and still something just wasn't settling with me in regards to that education. But I do have to say, when I've come to Bezerra Spiritual Healing and working with all of you and doing the mediumship and being able to communicate with the spirit world and having a greater understanding of what it is to be one, not only one with myself, but one with everything around me and one with all of you. I I became to have a greater understanding of what it means to worship, and it's very hard to even find the words of worship because when I'm in worship and I'm just in that aha moment, like these epiphanies are just, but I'm also feeling silent and one, like there really is no thought at all. It's kind of an interesting feeling, but I can't express it. And it's this peace, this love, this leveling, this balance. Um, and I find it when I'm going inside, not outside. And if I'm trying to worship on the outside, I have to touch base because that to me is ego and pride because I'm at the exterior trying to show myself how important I am. I am so connected. And it's more of being connected within and then living with that energy as an example by how I go about my life. And that will be attractive, hopefully, to others to do the same, but not the same as me, but the same in a way to where they can connect to the God that truly is within them so that they can express the God of their own understanding to come to that great understanding of what you ended with is love, love, the commonality between us all, which can bring us all together and help us grow together. And what we do here and what we radiate out to make this world heaven on earth. Thank you.
I think the most important thing that you said is if you were that person to do outward worship would be prideful for you. That's very important to know that much about yourself. Very good. Anyway.
Thank you, Miss Tina. That was very nice presentation, a lovely one with love. And yeah, I think you talked about the most important subject, is prayer or worship. Worship is the most important thing in the human life. I don't want to say in religions, but it is very important, and that it has contact to love. And I think myself, and I try to practice that. When we love everybody, then that is the best worship that we can do. Because when we love everybody, we can forgive that. And that is forgiveness that we can do. When we love everybody, we cannot hurt him or her. When we love everybody, it is like a mother who loves his children. The child maybe make a lot of mistakes, but the mother will forgive and love him again. So is that, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much for this subject, for your explanation. And Brian told more than what I wanted to say. Thank you, Brian, too. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohsen. Love is key. But we
I'm gonna, Gina, one of the best you've done. Okay. Absolutely. You were so comfortable with every slide, and that came through loud and clear. But there's a theme here that we're all getting, and it's that balancing act of pride and ego. I echo Brian's words. It's tough sometimes to step forward with a gift or a talent that you have in a spiritual environment. The thought struck me here. I have this song from when I was on a worship team in a Christian church, and it's so perfect for this moment. But you know what I'd rather do? I'd rather save it and do a duet with Valerie. I'll play the music and let her sing it. or maybe together, because then it's not so much a performance or an ego. But I will share this. One of the highlights, and this song was one of them, one of the highlights of being on that worship team was the surprising quantity of times where, as a musician, I'm completely in the flow, in the moment. I am connected with God at a level in worship that I would just say is rare and uncommon. And that has also occurred at BSH, that connection.
Yeah. I think music and songs can be very profound, but sometimes that can be cultural too. It's in different forms because everybody don't like the same vibration in music. We have to grow just like everything else, So anyway.
I'd like to say that, Gina, you have just excellent delivery. It causes one to contemplate. And even the contemplative part of what you were talking about causes one to contemplate on contemplation. So if I may, for example, we see examples of people in movies, we hear stories of monks and folks going off on journeys by themselves, and it all sounds good. And it seems right, but you got us thinking, wait a minute, it may start off right, but what's the service? The service seems like it's going to be greater than the individual. But in fact, those are for the individual. And so now we have to really think that again and think about that again and look at it from a different angle. So it's very good. But again, I'm complimenting your delivery as well as the information that you provided. Thank you.
Thank you. That's so funny. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's good. We should move on to, unless somebody got a burning desire to say something. Otherwise, let's move on.
Anybody else want to have anything to share with the humble Regina?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then. We'll take a 5-minute break. It's 10:45 California time, so that'll be 10:50. Just adjust where you are for that time zone. And then we'll come back and we'll do the healing part. And if you'd like for these 5 minutes, stay online and share some stories and laughs. And we'll be right back. Make sure when you come back, have a bottle of water. And again, name or pictures of your loved ones that you can have with